This, ladies and gentlemen, is a map of all the air bases in Pakistan from deep south, which defending Karachi, Masroor, Mirpur, Nawab Shah, Sukkur in Vihari, then of course Rafiqi, Multan, Risalwala, Lahore, Chandar, Mianwali, Murid, Kohat, Peshawar, Risalpur, Kamra, Chaklala, and of course Sargoda. Sargoda is my family hometown, which is now one of the largest air bases of the Pakistani Air Force. My grandfather was born here and fled here to Delhi from this town. So it's very familiar to my family because technically we still have a house there. So these are all the Pakistani air bases. Now the last time in and around Balakot, India did not impose any restrictions except on the immediate border of Pakistan. Delhi airport, Chandigarh airport, everything continued to operate. Pakistan shut down its airspace for several days. So I am going to pose a second question to Sudhakar ji before I come to my other guests. General Sudhakar, we've seen the Americans impose a no-fly zone over Iraq for a long period of time, preceding or the intervening period between the first Gulf War and the second Gulf War. Basically, the Iraqis could not fly a plane in this no-fly zone, or it would be summarily shot down. Are these kinds of options? Could we be imposing a no-fly zone over POK? I mean, what are the options on the table here which would be something not done before?
I am getting the spirit and the sense of your articulation, because your voice modulation is getting distorted. You see, if there is a situation like this of no-fly zone, it is not necessary that every time an objective or a target has to be attacked by air. You have drones today. Drones can actually hide itself from the surveillance scan of the radar. You have standoff attack systems of missiles. We have had a blind shot fired, a Brahmo firing into Pakistan a couple of, I think, 2-3 years back. We also have systems of very discreet stealth capability. We don't have a stealth aircraft, but we have the capability of hypersonic. Not many of us would be knowing about it. So that hypersonic thing has to be speeded up. It can penetrate into the airspace and go below the radar, the scanning angle, and hit the target. Even if it is not there, I'm sure we have countries who are in support of India's cause and national interest. They will come to our rescue. It's about time that we adopt a kind of architecture for an offensive against Pakistan so as to defeat every design. Whether it is no airspace or airspace, we should be able to defeat and defy every design of Pakistan.
So levels of escalation, generally, ladies and gentlemen, in conventional warfare, and what we have been witnessing, of course, is unconventional warfare. It is warfare. Let's not kid ourselves. War has already started, whether it's been declared or not. But in conventional warfare, the first thing you would want to enforce is what is called air superiority. That you would want to command the skies. Now that's why I'm showing you a map of Pakistani air bases. That does not, of course, include their deployment, although some of their deployment is reasonably well known. But I'm just going down by the book conventional. This is what the Pakistani did in reverse in '65. They targeted first our air bases, and they thought they'll knock off the Indian Air Force, and then they could do whatever they wanted in Jammu and Kashmir. Remember, in '48, it was the Dakotas that had to be flown from Pahalgam with the troops under Colonel Devanchand and others. So you required an air bridge to save Srinagar. So the air is really important in mountainous terrain, but it's only so important. Eventually, mountainous terrain can only be held or targeted or managed by ground troops, and that's the lesson we've learned in '48, '65 and '99. So you can even command the skies with choppers and helicopters. You can have good artillery, and incidentally Bofor's gun is what we use in 1999, but in the end you have to control the ground. Let's open this conversation up. I'm going to thank General Sudhakar for joining us on the broadcast. Let him carry on with his conference, which he's attending as we speak. Ambassador Mukherjee joining us on the broadcast. Colonel Chailendra Singh is with us. General Asthana joining us. Sumit is with us as well. I have to take this with Ambassador Mukherjee first off. Ambassador Mukherjee, I in such a serious situation in which such horrendous things have happened, I am trying to understand the mind of the Pakistani Foreign Office, because their response to India suspending the Indus Water Accords is the suspension of the Shimla Accords. What do you make of this, ma'am?
What I make of it is that by suspending the Indus Water Treaty, we have hit, using Pakistan's favorite word, Pakistan's jugular. They are seriously upset because this is a huge blow to them, because it's a blow to Pakistan Punjab. The only thing that matters right in today's Pakistan is Pakistan Punjab. It's a huge blow to them. They know that we're serious about it. We've been considering this move for a long time, and we would probably need 6 months to 1 year, Rishabh, to get things prepared on our side so that we can finally walk out of Indus Water Treaty. And also at the same time, if they want to abrogate the Shimla Agreement, as I just said in another channel, what is there to abrogate? In the Shimla Agreement, we returned 98,000 prisoners of war, and we facilitated the creation of Bangladesh. If they want to abrogate it, then are they saying that they would like to march into Bangladesh and overthrow Muhammad Yunus and annex Bangladesh? That's all that they can do. Otherwise, abrogation of the Shimla Agreement Accord is just grandstanding.
Yeah, so ma'am, let me follow up on this, because you've been, of course, in our Foreign Office for your entire career. Indira Gandhi, in my lifetime at least, in my generation, 30-40 years, she faced a lot of criticism for ever having signed it. And the reason, ladies and gentlemen, she faced criticism was that we handed over these 98,000 POWs. We returned 15,000 square kilometers of territory to Pakistan, including, of course, the Eastern Army commander, Niazi, who was handed over to the Pakistanis. And we recognized the existence of the line of control. Before that, it was an informal ceasefire line. The Shimla Agreement recognizes it formally as a bilateral line that exists. Before that, it didn't exist. So Indira Gandhi was highly criticized for this. So the Shimla Agreement is something that India never really desired, and for sure today does not want. So you've replaced your response to something which is very damaging to you is to rescind something which India doesn't care about and never really wanted. What kind of reciprocal diplomacy is this, ma'am?
In fact, we should send them a thank you letter for abrogating the Shimla Agreement, because now we can conclude the unfinished business, take back Chittagong Hill Track, secure the Siliguri corridor, secure our national interests, and that's it. We are so grateful to the Pakistanis for acting in anger, because they have nothing else to abrogate. They are a terror state which is collapsing into two or three rump states. They are bankrupt, and they have used World Bank money to fund terrorist activities and to buy weapons which they are not supposed to do according to the written agreement with World Bank. What we are going to do is, we are going to make sure that the first kinetic action, which the wording will please General Asana and all my military colleagues here, the first kinetic action, Rishabh, we have already done yesterday by suspending the Indus Waters Agreement. I was ambassador to Netherlands when they tried to stop us in the ICJ from building a run-of-the-river project, a small dam to bring water to some part of the then J&K. And we won the case, of course.
Yes.
We've always won every case against the Pakistanis. But the point is, even at that point, I remember asking the leader of the Indian delegation, who was a very, very distinguished jurist, who's no more. I said that, why don't we suspend and walk out? This Indus Waters Treaty is unfair to India. It was signed between Nehru and Ayub Khan at a time when our population was much less. Our water requirements were much less. We have rights as the upper riparian state. We will exercise those rights. We will make sure that we store water, we use our water for our people. If that doesn't suit them, too bad. And on top of that, remember that their actions have been condemned by all 5 members of the P5. So we can tomorrow morning go to the Security Council and get a resolution passed.
Okay, all right. So I just want to just put into context of what you just heard. Okay, it'll take us a few months. So abeyance means we don't have to follow it from tomorrow morning. Okay, or from yesterday morning or today morning. So is going to, because we have not, and we've been true to our word, we haven't built the projects, unlike the Chinese who have built all the projects on the Brahmaputra. Okay, because we've been true to our word and never built the projects, our current capacity to divert the water in the next few months doesn't exist. But we can build the capacity. Okay, so within 1 or 2 years, you can build the reservoirs, the dams, as well as the canals to divert the water. And if you hold the treaty in abeyance, which means you can 100% move all the water. Currently, India sends more water than it needs to. Far more water flows into Pakistan than the 30%, than the 70% that is due to them, because we have not built the canals and the dams. So it's going to be a devastating blow, but a devastating blow with a gestation impact of, I would say, 12 to 18 months. 12 to 18 months is a short time, but it's not an immediate blow. Something is going to happen, I suspect, immediately. So yeah, so just stay with me, ma'am. Let me get General Asthana into the General Asthana. I'm going to ask you a very straight question. I've been asking my panelists before this. How important? One word answer, sir. How important is the Indus Water Accord to Pakistan? Very important, slightly important, or not important?
Very important.
Okay.
There is no doubt about
okay.
it.
How
And
important
let me-
is the Shimla agreement to India?
Not important at all.
Okay, so
In
you have your reciprocal diplomacy is to
Doesn't work.
respond to the removal of the Indus Water Treaty by revoking the Shimla Accord. How does this make sense? Who in India is concerned about losing the Shimla Accord, sir? We are probably happier for it.
See, we are happy for it because it gives us, it makes it our job easier to get back POK. Because that's the immediate implication. Because after that, as far as we are concerned, LOC doesn't exist. And if LOC doesn't exist, then it's a question of mustering troops and have a political intention and execution. That's about all. That's one part of it. The most important thing as far as this, why they have done it is because they have to show their face to their public. So basically, it is more to make their public feel that we have also taken something, we have also taken some action, and we have also abrogated some of the accord. Somebody in some international channel was trying to ask me regarding China treating it Indus Water Treaty as an act of war, or holding it in abeyance as an act of war. No doubt about it. If they want to start a war, we are absolutely prepared. We have not said that we are at war. But if you want to presume that you are at war, you are most welcome. And
No, so there's very interesting terminology, and I have a diplomat sitting with me, and she'll. I don't want to disparage the Pakistani Foreign Service, okay, but not the most genius reciprocal diplomacy here. But the terminology, General Asthana, is that if India acts upon the diversion of the rivers, then we will consider it an act of war. Because otherwise, if they say holding the treaty in abeyance is act of war, that means war started last night. We're already at war. So they are trying to fiddle their way out of this one. So now let me come to the other parts. So Indus Water Treaty, well and good. Okay, it's going to have a 12 to 18 month gestational impact.
One more
finish your thought.
I want to do with the Indus Water Treaty. In case they still feel that they have not been hit enough, we can make announcements for linking the rivers and the projects. The projects may take time. The linking of rivers will also take time, but the intent would be clear. So, Government of India can consider announcing some projects which we have thought of otherwise as well, as to which are maybe irrigation projects or whatever. But like they try to do something like one of the missile they tried to test whether it succeeded or it doesn't. But they were trying to help tell their people that we are ready for war and we are doing exercise, etc., etc. So one more addition we can do if the situation desires to.
We already have projects with the Pakistanis objected to because build them. But yes, logistically you can speed up, but that's, as I've repeated many times, it's going to take you 12 to 18 months. You can do it. We are not going to do it. But it's going to take you 12 to 18 months gestational period before the water flowing to Pakistan even reaches the level which we are mandated or were mandated under the Indus Water Accord, which is 70%. Right now they get most of the water. We divert nothing. Because even the canal that was supposed to be built between Punjab and Haryana, though that never got built, we've been more than good neighbors when it came to the Indus Water Accord. So Beyond that, General Asthana, unimaginable consequences to the ends of the earth. Do you take this more than rhetoric?
No, this is a rhetoric, but there's no doubt about it. Let's also put it this way. I want to slightly expand it. These are, so we just talked about some diplomatic measures. Now, let me tell you, if the strategy, firstly, has to be very clear. And the fountainhead is Pakistan military. All these are terrorist and the terror organizations. They are all pawns and operators. So therefore, our response has to target Pakistan military and their chief. Let's be absolutely clear. So if the strategy is that, we know that there are fissures between Pakistan military and people, between Pakistan military and their provinces, between Pakistan military and their shall I say, political parties too. So therefore, it has to be a multi-domain approach for this kind of a strategic intent, because if the center of gravity is very clear, then the intent and the methodology is also become
Okay, so
clear.
you are saying
Everything
revenge
need not
is
be a kinetic action.
Okay. So you've heard revenge is a dish best served cold. Okay, do it over a period of time. The Indus Water Court chokes them off. Economically, we've already choked them off. Pakistan's vast majority of export-import trade happened with India. That's been choked off for years as it is. Okay, and squeeze them and let them die the slow death that the country is already dying. We already know they're dying. Pakistani foreign exchange reserves currently are at about $9 billion. Okay, India's foreign exchange reserves are around $700 billion. So $9 billion, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm trying to put it into context what that actually is. It's 10% of the net worth of Mukesh Ambani. Okay. So let me just put that in context. You can Google and figure out those contexts again. Let me get Colonel Shailendra Singh into this. Colonel Shailendra Singh, let me observe the two things. One is the latest absorption of the development. Pakistan has announced countermeasures, sir. After we have shut the Adari border, they've shut the Wagah border. Wow, that was because that totally makes sense, right? Because I have no comment. After we have cancelled the SARC visas, they've also cancelled the SARC visas. Okay, reciprocity. After we have cancelled the Indus Water Accord, they've cancelled the Shimla Accord. Your response?
Jai Hind, Namaskar. When it comes down to agreements, what we are speaking about, who brings it down or who doesn't, allow me to say, agreements are between gentlemen. Always, every time, the agreements are for two gentlemen to look back at what did they decide. I feel, this is my personal way of looking at it, they did a CCS meeting after our CCS meeting. तो भाई ये तो वो वाली बात हो गई जो मैं करूंगा अब वो करेगा. I am not doing it because what he is going to do. I am least bothered what he is going to do. I am doing what I have to do, which is morally right, which is the need of the hour, which is the demand of my public, which has got absolute clear-cut support worldwide. My war is against terrorism. India is not declaring a war on Pakistan. They are feeling the war. And for that, if I am choking your water supply, there is nothing wrong. I am only asking you that please, if you want this water, you might as well behave. You didn't behave. We could have done it even during Kargil. It was being talked about so much, but we still didn't do it. Now today we find that Lakshman Rekha has been crossed in all respect, that you have started now challenging Hindustan and Hindu. That is where now the whole country is together. They were always boasting about that, okay, J&K will be with them. Now today you can see what J&K is doing against them, what to say of for them. My own way is that what government has decided now is only the start of it. This war will continue in a bigger way. We are graduating. Till now we were fighting insurgency and terrorism by Pakistan. Now we are declaring the war on terrorism in Pakistan. There's a lot of difference between that. Because when you are fighting, you are only being defensive. But when you are on a war, then you are being offensive about your defense. Nowhere India is given any kind of indication that we have an ambition to attack you or do anything on that. We are going to attack. We are going to attack the terrorism. Now, whether
Okay.
you are holding it in your ISI headquarters at any place or Islamabad or for that matter Rawalpindi, well, that's just too bad for you.
Okay,
बचा
all right.
सको तो बचा लो. शहीद को देखता हूँ आप कितना बचा
Okay,
लोगे.
your interpretation, sir. So, a sequence of events. Now, I've been reiterating them because our viewers join us, and the sequence of events as I see them are far more serious than I have seen them before. The enemy aliens, and these are my terminologies, not the government of India's terminologies, but enemy aliens have been asked to leave within 48 hours, including those on medical visas have been asked to leave within 7 days. India has cut down its personnel in the India's High Commission in Pakistan by 50%. They'll be returning by the 29th, which is less than 7 days. The borders are now sealed, the armed forces are on high alert, and an all-party meeting to brief is being conducted. Something major is about to go down, Shailendra Singh. Do you suspect it will be limited to what has already been announced? Colonel.
No, it definitely cannot be limited. I said this is the start point. Cabinet Committee on Security doesn't meet to have a cup of tea or to decide कि मुनीर ने क्या बोल दिया. He's least important to me. Munir can go to hell. He can become a Maulana for all I care. But when my CCS meets, that means there is something being discussed bigger. 2-2.5 घंटे में बैठकर ये 5 decision नहीं लिए जाते. The decisions are got much more implication. They have got much more to come. You have only heard what is the declared part of it. There will be much more. This 5 decisions could have been taken maybe in half an hour. But what did they do for next 2 hours? That next 2 hours will result into something which will be shocking. And when Modi speaks, and when he speaks, prohibitive losses, well, you will see what is that prohibitive loss.
Okay.
That loss will continue for Pakistan in a much bigger way. Be rest assured, and Pakistan, beware. You are in for trouble, and this time it is not only going to be a big trouble, it is going to be a prolonged trouble for you.
The prolonged trouble began. The country is in desperate straits. Ask the Pakistanis, they know that's why they're leaving the country, starting with their generals. Sumit, now, here we are 24 hours later. I want to first absorb the developments and then the sequence of events that have taken place. Okay, so late last evening, by about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, the CCS ends, and it's a big ticket announcement. We've been discussing it for years, and then suddenly it happened. Okay. But I also am acutely aware that that's a slightly longer term thing, that you'll build the dams, and in maybe 12 months, 18 months, 4 years, 5 years, the jugular will get choked. Serious consequences, but deferred consequences. In principle, very serious. But given the sequences of events, subsequently, what do you make of Pakistan's response? We close the Tari border, so they close Wagah border. We said no visa, so they said no visa. We said no Indus Water Treaty, so they said no Shimla Accord. What do you make of this?
Rishabh ji, thanks for having me on your show. The first thing is, Hindi में कहावत है, खसियानी बिल्ली खंबा नोचे, बेगानी शादी में अब्दुल्ला दीवाना, मैं कौन तू कौन याया खान. I mean, that is also one of it. So that is what spits on these mullahs of Pakistan, because their diplomacy is taught in a madrasa somewhere near Lal Masjid.
No, but come on, these are all Oxford educated people. Come on. They're all Oxford educated. All of them went to Oxford University.
They have completely
Imran went to Oxford, Bhutto's beta, most of their foreign service all went to Oxford. So don't say that they went to madrasa. They're all very intelligent people. So I want to examine their intelligence.
Yeah, the intelligence is as follows. You look, after the diversion of the Chenab water, which we did earlier, there were already reports that their cotton, rice and cotton wheat and one more crop, which is the immediate crop, is facing an imminent danger because they don't have enough water for that, and cotton needs a lot of water. So they were still grappling with that. With this announcement, today India has the option to always reduce the water, because Pakistan is at a place when you start reducing the water, and in summer months to come, they can immediately feel the pain. Science says that without food you can live for 30 days, but without water for only 7 days. पानी के बिना आप केवल 7 दिन जीवित रह सकते हैं.
Exactly 3.
That is the and that too in tropical countries like us where it touches 48 degrees. Now imagine a country with a birth rate of 3.5, fifth populous country in the world, growing and breeding like rabbits, and now you cut their water. So what do? Rather than they don't have option, they can't buy water from China. China is not going to heli lift water to them. So what do they say? Okay, we will not agree with the Shimla agreement. That is just mere rhetoric. What
No,
they're saying.
but again, so I'm going to do the same thing with you. Okay, how important, in one word, do you think the Shimla agreement was for Pakistan? Sorry, the Indus Water Treaty was for Pakistan.
Life and blood.
How important was the Shimla agreement for India?
Time waste. Baggage.
So how is this a response? It is no response. Now I don't know, convince who are they trying to convince? Their Awam that we've hit back at India.
Awam, sir. Awam, which are mostly illiterate and wherein the marriage within cousins is 70% and every fourth child has a genetic disorder. So that is the Awam they have, and 33% of the Pakistani population is diabetic. So that is the Awam they have. They are trying to feed to them. हम हिंदुओं को बता देंगे, हिंदुस्तान को बता देंगे. But I want to reiterate one important point, Rishabh ji, in this debate. Look, Prime Minister Modi's speech in Bihar. And in that speech, when he is addressing a local crowd in Bihar, he breaks up in English. One last minute is in English where he says to the whole world, we will find you, we'll hunt you down to the ends of the earth.
Is this India's October 7?
That is the strongest message, because in a typical Bihar crowd, Modi ji doesn't need to break out in English, because when he says in English, the message is loud, clear, and
it's meant for that's meant for the international audience. We got that.
Oh, okay, everybody.
That one line of "we will hunt them to the ends of the earth" is very clear.
तो सब कहीं नहीं छोड़ेंगे, जहां भी जाएगा पकड़ के मारेंगे. And that another thing is that, in my opinion, what I interfere, I'm not a military expert, all the terrorist launch pads or the terrorist infrastructure of Pakistan after this statement becomes a legitimate target to hit and take out. Because if it means we will hunt you to the ends of the earth, why not on Pakistan? The earth includes Pakistan as well. So tomorrow if we go and hit a terrorist camp or a launching pad or any ammunition dump, that is a legitimate target to hit now.
Okay.
We have declared to the whole world. Clear hai? Koi ambiguity
Some developments just to digest. The Pakistani foreign minister has decided not to visit Dhaka at this point of time. Probably a smart move. I think there are going to be issues closer to home. In fact, as per their government's position, the Shimla agreement, which ended the 71 war officially, I know the war ended in December, the Shimla agreement was signed in July and came into force in August. But you have to realize the Pakistanis lost East Pakistan. They didn't wake up on the morning of December 18th and say, okay, bye-bye East Pakistan. They recognized Bangladesh as a country only after the Shimla agreement. So, well, who knows? Anyway, right move. They've also summoned the Indian envoy currently present in Islamabad, probably to inform them that they have rescinded the Shimla agreement. So let me get Ambassador Mukherjee back into this conversation. Ambassador Mukherjee, I have to ask you the larger question. How are we positioned globally in terms of global response to whatever happens now?
The global response has been very heartening. All the 5 permanent members of the Security Council have condemned the terrorist attack. If tomorrow we decide to move a resolution seeking Security Council disapproval for what has happened, we would be able to get a resolution through. We are free to raise this matter also in the Human Rights Council, and we are now in a position to try and get Pakistan put back in FATF. But more than that, I wanted to make the point that abrogating the Shimla Accord is not going to go down well in Bangladesh, because the Shimla Accord acquiesced in the creation of Bangladesh, apart from returning the POW. It leaves India free to complete the unfinished business of 1971 by securing the Siliguri corridor, by getting back the Chittagong hill track, and by making sure that our eastern sector is absolutely safe. So actually, Rishabh, we should send a letter of thanks to Pakistan.
I agree. But in a practical sense, ma'am.
I'm delighted by this news. I'm delighted.
Okay. In a practical sense, ma'am, if push comes to shove, the Trump administration probably gets your thought process right now. What about the Chinese? What would they think? I mean, because every time we are told, number one, we were told every time that nuclear, be scared, don't do anything nuclear. Next, we were told two front, be scared, don't do anything, two front. What do you make of this? Where are the Chinese sitting?
the fact that the Chinese condemned the attack demonstrates two things. Number one, in the face of sustained pressure by the Trump administration on tariffs, they are trying to make up to India, including on trade. Secondly, they are fully aware that they have unfinished business in POK, the Chinese, and they know that we are waiting for a chance to go in and get back POK. They also know that we are waiting for a chance to finish the unfinished business of 1971. So I don't think that they are going to open up any front right now. I doubt it very much. I don't think we are going to open up an active military front either, because now we have many more options of doing it from our side of the LOC,
Okay.
and we will do what it takes from our side of the LOC to take out what we need to take out. But as I repeat, Rishabh, it's not going to take more than 1 year for the abrogation of the Indus Water Treaty to really hurt Pakistan where
It
hurts.
starts hurting them within weeks, and it cripples
It's
them,
our first-
to
it's our
cripple them
first
18 months.
It's our first kinetic strike. Whatever happens after that can only be second phase.
Okay. Colonel Singh, before I come to General Asthana, Colonel Singh, in practical sense, what do you make of the global situation? Because in past we have, always kept our eye over our shoulders, thinking, what will the Americans say? What will Bill Clinton do? What will George Bush do? Do we have to worry about all that? What will China do?
May I put it like this? Who the hell is China to tell me what to do? Who the hell is world to tell me what to do? If I am only getting stuck with them, then I don't think we can do anything ever in our life. You tell me, what has the world done to Israel on Hamas? You tell me. भाई ये तो वो वाली बात है ना, that when I am fighting terrorism, then that is not terrorism. Then I am fighting the freedom fighters. लेकिन अगर वो US में है, तो then it becomes a terrorism. Let us define our terrorism ourselves. Let us define our own response to terrorism, the way it is going to suit me, the way I am going to kill it, even if it amounts to going few steps extra, which people may take it as wrong or right.
Okay.
I am right because I am fighting terrorism.
Okay, so you're saying
I am
go down
not
the Israeli
fighting
model,
Pakistan.
two hoots to
Not
what
only
people
the
think.
place where it is fought.
Yeah, two hoots. Let's do what we have to do. General Asthana, I'm saying it from the reality of the world that we used to live in. The world has changed for sure. India is a different country today than it was even 20 years ago. But yes, we used to be deeply concerned. Vajpayee said this, that he was warned of what would happen if he tested the nuclear bombs. Okay, we were always concerned, and we were told of two things. One was the nuclear bogey, that you can't do anything with Pakistan because they've got nukes. And the second, we've told that you can't do anything with Pakistan because you'll face a two-front war with China. Are any of those true?
As of now, none of them is true, for the simple reason because none of them is concerning. I would not say it true or otherwise. None of them is concerning for many other reasons, and let me qualify that when what I say. Where you talked of international opinion, the issue is that precedence exists. Israel has done what they need to do. If Trump has spoken about that for his own security, he wants Greenland. If Russia has done for his own security, he has gone he's launched a special military operation. There is nothing stopping India to do the same thing because we have also been hurt by the terrorists. Secondly, as of today, Chinese need India, and they do not want India to be totally in the US side. And certainly with this trade war, I think Chinese, as far as relative importance is concerned, India is much more important to China as of today than Pakistan.
Okay.
Because Pakistan in any case is their colony. They don't have to, they just have to order Pakistan. So as far as they are concerned, I don't think, and you take the precedence, all these wars, has China ever interfered? I don't think so. Because Chinese are very, very clear in their mind. I've been to China so many times. They will take any action only when it is of interest to China, period. They are not interested in anybody else.
You can have the convoluted argument that it is in their interest to keep Pakistan afloat, but the question is, in this day and age, with the current state of India's abilities, would the Chinese go to war with India to save the backside of Pakistan? The probability is you can easily argue probably not. Will they do other activities, and will they try to smuggle more arms and create tensions in the northeast and on the Nepal border? Yes, all of those things will happen. But will they send the Chinese Air Force across the Himalayas to start bombing Uttarakhand? Absolutely not. So that's where we are. Okay, last quick word, Sumit, before I take a break. Within India, okay, yesterday we saw a very convoluted and I would say rather troubling statement from Mr. Robert Vadra, and I don't know if that was the position of his party or he was speaking for himself. I think it definitely, he missed the feeling of emotion in the country completely in his wanting to link the terror attack in Pahalgam to Narendra Modi, and I think Muslims in this country would agree what happened in Pahalgam was unconscionable. So I think he missed the temperature in the country probably completely. But what about the others? What about the CPIMs and CPMs and all the others, and the Mamtas and the Lalus and the Tejasvis? What do you think all of them are going to be if we on Indus Water Treaty and all these other matters?
I think as far as Mr. Vadra is concerned, as far as Congress is concerned, they are miles away from reality. They live in their ivory towers and in their luxury. They don't understand how it is going on the ground. If they would have known, they would have not been reduced to a state where they are. And Mr. Vadra unfortunately said something very bad, that on the Easter day churches and the priests were attacked in India, which never happened. There is not even an iota of evidence around that. So as far as Congress is gone, and Congress is, affiliations to Pakistan, liking for Pakistan, and Congress being the Muslim League of India, and the Pakistan linkage is very, very clear. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
No, I don't know about that, but I'm guessing he missed the temperature. But I'm asking you about the others. Okay, so he missed the temperature. I'm not saying his party will miss the temperature, but what about the others? Where will they be on all this? Will they be okay with strong measures against Pakistan, or will they have no options?
I think others, Rishabhji, will see the sentiment of the ground, which is pro-India, which is against Pakistan, and every Indian today wants Pakistan to be hit and Pakistan military to be hit decisively. I don't think if they're seasoned politicians, they will dare to go against it, because this can dismantle them from politics. As far as Congress is concerned, they're not bothered. They have nothing to lose. A terrorist with no demands.
Okay, I think if there's any Indian politician who does not feel the real sense of shock and anger of what has happened and tries to politically finagle this, they should quit politics the next morning, because politics is about understanding what people are feeling. Okay, that's what it is. So you don't get what the people feel, you're completely out of sync, and you're going to lose anyway no matter what you do. So may as well walk away now. So good news, India shall be united on this front. I'm going to take a very short break. We'll keep tracking development. So much is happening. It's going to be a complex few days. Let's take it a day at a time, a minute at a time. See you in a minute.